today's Representation Matters segment, we are joined now by Ivory Duncan. So Ivory is the founder of Embracing Neuro-Diversity. Now, this is a really important topic, one that it can be maybe a little intimidating to learn about, and that is why we're so happy that you're here. So roughly 1 in 36 children are diagnosed for being on the spectrum for autism. I want to make sure I got that right there, because it is critical to know the information. Can be very challenging, I'm sure, for parents.
Yes, absolutely.
And you have created this amazing, amazing business, Embracing Neuro-Diversity. So let's hear a little bit about what inspired this.
Absolutely. So what inspired it is my motherhood journey. I have a 7-year-old son, and I learned that he was on the autism spectrum when he was 4. Prior to that, I've been an educator for over 15 years. I've worked with neurodiverse children, but I didn't see the signs. But the moment I saw them and I began to embark on the journey of supporting him, one of the things that kept coming up was, I need support. I need to figure out how to navigate this emotionally, socially, because some social dynamics change when you have a neurodiverse children and others do not. And so I got the opportunity to work with a coach to sort of help me check in on not only my son and his development, but my own health and mental health, emotional health. And it got me to thinking, I have all of these years of experience as an educator, and now I'm an autism mom. Why don't I create a platform to help other moms like me? The coach I had, she wasn't an autism mom, and so it would have helped me even more if I had someone who knew my experience. And so that's where Embracing Neuro-Diversity came from, and we've been available for about 1.5 years now.
Okay, I love that you're embracing this platform that you have and the experiences. Can you share what exactly is neurodiversity?
Sure. So it's an inclusive umbrella term that includes people who think differently, whose way of thinking is divergent from the typical way of thinking, right? And so it's this idea that there's no better way to think and function in the world. It's just different, right? And so in mainstream society, where we tend to think that there's one way to learn, there's one way to understand information, but there's actually multiple ways. And so neurodiversity essentially promotes the idea that if you're on the autism spectrum and perhaps you may have a delay in speech, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are incapable of learning and that you don't have other intelligences. So let's highlight those.
Again, I'm kind of blown away by your specific perspective, coming from the education background, but then also living this as a mother with your sweet son. So this is, why would you say it's important for parents to recognize and celebrate those unique strengths that you're sharing?
That's a beautiful question. I think half of the battle with young people who are on the spectrum or who have any sort of neurodiversity is people's belief that they can thrive, right? And so one of the things I've researched around adults who are neurodiverse is that the thing that they struggle with the most is that people didn't believe in their ability to learn, to thrive in the world. And so what this essentially does is to shift mindsets to see the strengths in your child, and that literally is half the battle. I was reading an article where this guy who's on the spectrum is now a professor, and he said that he credits his mom, who, when he was younger, he couldn't read until he was 10, but he credited his mom for never giving up on him. So I want to be able to encourage other parents to shift their mindsets to do the same, and I believe that will help our young children as well.
Well, you're doing that. You're doing that right now by sitting here and speaking to your experiences, so that's amazing. You have also, check this out on the screen, talk to us about this. This is, come on, Khalil, right? Talk to us about this.
So it's a children's book, neurodiverse children's book that is inspired by my son's story. One of the things that I learned in terms of his autism was that his speech was delayed. And so while he had these other these other skills, he couldn't always articulate or verbalize what he wanted, especially when it came to socializing with young people his age peers. And so when I would take him to the park, he wanted to play with other kids, but he couldn't figure out how to articulate it. And of course, that's heartbreaking for a mom to experience. And I was like, if I'm having this experience, and 1 in 36, there's thousands of other moms out there having this experience. So I wrote a quick children's book. It's a 5-minute read to inspire other young children through the lens of their parents to, you know, feel empowered even though you have this speech delay. So it's about a story of a young boy who struggles with asking his friends to play, but eventually they all figure it out.
This
so
is
it's
amazing.
inclusivity. I thank you.
This is beautiful, and I am so happy not only that you were able to have a very insightful conversation this morning, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
But you're providing a tangible kind of note of inspiration for other moms and children. Okay, so check that out. Ivory, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Of course, and if you are at home want to connect with Ivory or learn more about the resources available, of course, that book, you can visit her website. It is going to be on your screen now, embrace-neuro-diversity.com.
Yes.
You can also give them a call, 816-808-1937. We are going to take a quick break and be back in about 2 minutes.